Hi, this is Z, and I'm back again with another video. Today I wanted to talk about the divine feminine, um, the divine matriarchs of the family. So the divine feminines are being resurrected, so to speak. Um, we've had a period of time um, where the divine feminines were became kind of submissive, the wife at home, the stay-at-home wife, um, and kind of in the shadow of the masculine, whether divine or not. Um, and we've kind of, been in the background and not really exercising our power, our divine feminine power, like we have in the past. A lot of history has been erased or changed to make it look like men have always been in power. They've been the only ones in power. They've been always been the leaders and such. But no, there was a time where women played a role in history where we were the leaders, and we had a lot of power and control, but not in a negative sense. So since that, since we've been pushed in the background, the world has kind of turned topsy-turvy and things are out of balance and out of order. It's not to say that women are better than men in a sense, but we are the mothers, we are the nurturers and the supporters. And so we kind of come in, our power is different than those of males. Males are or the masculine is more of the physical power. The more their power is different from ours. So naturally, with them being in leadership or in control, they rule differently than the divine feminine. And it's not just the feminine coming back, it's the divine feminine. And we are taking our rightful place in the world and in the household. So it's important to understand that a lot of women, especially Black women, the reason why we're under attack so heavily is because they do not want us to come back into our rightful place. It is a struggle. It has been a lot of, you know, tactics to keep us in the background and keep people looking at us as if we're lesser by nature when really we're not. We have a lot of power, we have a lot of intelligence. Like I said, we're nurturers. So putting us in the head, we're not going to be as selfish as maybe the males have been in the past that have been ruling. We're not going to rule based off of money and simply by power, but we would rule more so how we are at home, in a nurturing, supportive way, but things are in order, things are in balance. And I'm speaking on the divine feminine. So the divine feminine seeks to put things back into order, back into balance, and she has a natural connection with the Most High God, with the universe. So with her coming back into her rightful place, that will naturally bring the rest of the planet back into balance. But because now we have people in power that are so um, they want to dominate and control, and they rule based off of money, what they can have and what they can use people for. um there's a lot of resistance to us, so a lot of divine feminines are under attack. um in a physical sense, interacting with people, they look down on us, they think that we're less than them. And in a spiritual sense, a lot of us are the generational curse breakers, and a lot of people look down on us, and they make it look like our accomplishments are nothing. So I remember a few years back, I used to be on Facebook, And when there would be a Black woman that said she owned a business or that she went to school, it was always somebody making her feel like that was nothing. But when men do that, those are, they're honored for that. And I found that at the time I didn't really understand that the divine feminine was coming back into power. Um, and that's why there's a lot of resistance and making women feel like they whatever they do is nothing. But we are coming back into power. We're coming back into our rightful place, and especially in a family dynamic. But with this is going to come resistance from your own family. So those of you that are divine feminines, that are also the curse breaker, or however you see yourself as, if you're just the divine feminine and the divine matriarch, you're going to have resistance from men and women in your family, in your relationships, um people you may work with, people you're friends with, because there's a lot of resistance against those that are divine coming back into power. There's a lot of evil and a lot of darkness on the earth. And so the darkness and the evil does not want to be, uh, you know, kicked off the planet, so to speak. They don't want to be dealt with. They don't want to be put in the background. They want to stay in the forefront. So this is why you're going to see where even in relationships, in marriages, you're going to have a lot of resistance from men. You're going to have a lot of resistance from women being jealous of that position, because there's always been a matriarch in the family, but it's not just going to be on a family dynamic. You're going to see a lot of divine feminines coming up in the world and being in the spotlight, being the teachers that are showing people the way. They're going to be leaders. They're going to show the rest of the world how things are supposed to be, how it's done, what we're supposed to be doing. They're going to help to enlighten a lot of people, and people don't want that. And especially in your family, you always have that one person in the family that's going to, want your position, and they're going to seek to make it look like you have a problem when really it's them that has the problem. But I say all of this to say that do not back down. Do not allow people to um, play with you and allow people to walk all over you and ruin your life, because you are destined to come into that position. You're destined to take your throne, so to speak. You're destined to wear that crown, and anyone getting in your way will be removed. You may have to deal with them for a time, but eventually they're going to be moved out of your way. And this goes for anyone that is trying to hinder you or block you from taking your rightful place. They will be removed. You will be shown, the veil will be lifted off your eyes. You will be shown people that who they truly are, and that are trying to hinder and block you. You'll be Their mask will fall off. You will be able to see them for who they are, and they will be removed. If you're unable to, if you're in a position where it's difficult for you to remove yourself from people like this, they will be removed, or you will be removed, not necessarily in a negative way, but you will be removed from them, because it is your destiny. It is part of your purpose to move into that divine feminine position, that divine matriarch position in your family. Even if you are like me, where you've had to separate yourself from your family, you still will be known by your family. They will see you come into your divine position of the family. You will still be known as the divine matriarch. And with that divinity, one or more of your children may be divine, um, children that you will have. And it is your job to do your best to raise those children up to be divine themselves, because the world is time for change to come. It's time for this old world, this old nonsense of people being evil and demonic and ruling with an evil, heart and a cold heart. It's time for all of that to end, and for the mothers, the divine mothers, the divine feminine, the divine matriarch to step into her rightful place. And don't be discouraged, and don't give up, and don't allow people to try to strip you of your power. They're gonna try, and then for a time you may allow it, because I know I did. But that is because you were not aware of who you are. Once you become aware of who you are and what your destiny is, and that you are to become divine feminine, or you are to become the divine matriarch in the family, do not allow these people to continue to play with you and run all over you and give you a hard time. Just simply remove yourself, if you can, from those type of people, and stay in your power. Don't give up your values or your goals or anything that you hold, dear to you, in order to satisfy these people, because they are not to become, well, maybe they're not to become, but most likely they're not to become divine. And you do not want to give up your power to people that are destructive. And those people are destructive, and they're leading down, a lot of them are leading down the path to destruction. Now, it's okay to teach them something, but don't allow them to strip you of your power, and don't and let them know, that you're not going to allow them to strip you of your power, that they can no longer, if they have been trying to dominate you, they can no longer dominate and control you. You are stepping into your rightful place. You're taking your crown back. You're taking your throne back, and there's nothing they can do about it. So do not give up. Do not allow these people to, continue to play with you. And you're going to have difficult times. It's always going to be people that's trying to come in and test you and see if they can take from you. But stand firm, stand in your position. Once you know what your position is, go into your position and keep rising higher, in spite of those that are trying to pull you back down into the barrel. So I hope this message helps someone, and I will be back again with another message soon. And I didn't want to just make this about divine feminines, but it is. It's not to say that there's not divine masculines, because there are counterparts for divine feminines. But I just wanted to speak to the women, because I'm a woman, and I understand when you're trying to step in that position, it's so many people. There's like bothersome flies and mosquitoes, and they're relentless. But don't give up. Keep pushing forward, and keep hope, and keep your connection with the Most High God, and things will work out in the end. So again, I want to say that I hope this message helps someone, and I will be back again with another video soon. Bye.